As an Amazon seller, it's overwhelming how many tech tools are out there. But as an agency, I'm always trying to review all these tools to see if the one I'm currently using is the best of the best. So today I'm going to be taking a look at Sellerise. And the reason I'm doing this is because I watched a great video from Dan Rogers. He was reviewing the tool, showed us all the steps and tutorials. And so I thought what I could do is go through raw. That is, this is the first time I've ever looked at Sellerise. They were able to give me a free trial account to test this out, and I'm going to dive in and look at each one of these sections cold, give my evaluation, and tell you how I think you can use it. My name is Stephen Pope, and I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. Let's dive in. So here's what we're going to be putting to the test. If you go to Sellerise.com, here you can see what they're claiming to be able to do. So it's a tool for both beginners and masters. They claim they have more accurate data, automation, and some user experience that will be helpful. Over 200 million reviews requested, so it's a review gen tool as well. 22 million critical alerts sent, so they have all of the listing changes, and it's also a money reimbursement tool. Scrolling to the bottom of their homepage, you can see some of the people that have reviewed the tool. I'm not familiar with Yanov, but Adam Heiss, big fan of his channel. Our channel and his channel get a lot of crossover views. We've got Tatiana James. She has some good content as well. And then Dan Rogers, which kind of prompted my interest personally, seeing his in-depth step-by-step tutorial. Here's the pricing right on the homepage there. Very economical starting packages, and they do offer some enterprise pricing as well. So this is going to be a very competitive tool to try and get you to try it. Typically, when you see a tool like this, they're trying to go for market share over profit, which is generally beneficial to the Amazon community because you're going to be able to test something with very minimal risk, very minimal commitment on your part. And if you don't like it, you can always cancel it. So here's how we're going to be grading the tool to see if it can accomplish our 4 phases of SEO. In another video, I walk through my entire SEO process, and I have multiple ways I go through and do search term optimization and try and index products. Then I work on a strike zone keywords. So we're looking at keywords ranked 20 through 50, followed by the search query performance report, where I go in and I try and improve my ICAP, impressions, clicks, add to carts, and purchases. So diving into the tool here, this is the dashboard. So you can connect it to an Amazon account. This is pretty common for most tools. You can see net profit analysis. You can input your COGS. One of the nice things about having an all-in-one tool is that sometimes you can collapse multiple tech tools into one. And so it's very clear Sellerise is trying to accomplish that. So that's why they have additional things like profit analysis and reimbursements, and they even show you your payouts and all that good information. So here you can see like some of the charts. This does look a little customizable, so you can see like edit overview, click on add charts. So those of you who love analytics are probably going to like this dashboard on first glance. The fact that it's customizable is super interesting. So I'm just going to click around and hit set configuration. So my team connected this Age of Sage account, but this is literally the first time I've ever logged in. So I love doing cold reviews. It's kind of my style. So you can get kind of the what goes through my brain when I look at it and gauge it. So in here, you can see a configured chart with different products here. There's some check marks. I'm going to click one of those check marks and see what happens. So it looks like it's taking a subset of the data if we want to focus in on a specific SKU like that, and we can come in and toggle. So let's toggle a couple of these and see what that does. So it looks like you can toggle one at a time. Let's see if I uncheck it, and then maybe it goes back to the full list. Cool. So that shows the sales. We got product sales, net profits. So if you're trying to figure out like, hey, am I profitable on my Sage sticks? Click that. Last 4 week in sales, got $1,200 in sales. Previous period was $879. So the profit went up by a couple $100 over the last month. Margin, similar here. We got a 41% margin. Previous period, 32%. So we're seeing a 7% gain from that. Heading into Mother's Day in 2024, I would expect that with a seasonal product and all that good stuff. FBA fees, very difficult to calculate FBA fees today. So having a breakout like this is very beneficial. So I like the fact that they're breaking all of these different charts out because when you're a seller, there is just so much overwhelming amount of things you can do. So what I like tools to try and do is to tell me where to focus. And so a dashboard like this, I'm going to give this a thumbs up because in here, they're breaking out sales, product sales, net profit, margin, FBA fees. It was very easy to follow, very intuitive. So I could tell, like I could select a specific SKU. Let's click on the SKU drop down too. So I could do it by ASIN, I could do it by parent ASIN. So that's a nice little feature in there. So we didn't put COGS in, but you can do that as well. And then advertising costs, right? So if you're ever wondering why things are happening on your account, you're like, oh man, my sales are up. Why is that? If you can see all these charts in one glance like this, it's pretty obvious to me the sales are up because we spent more on PPC and we're in the May seasonality, so conversion's up. So that's very, very helpful. And then you can see refunds. This is people that are actually submitting refunds. So stacking all this up, very helpful. Back to the FBA fees, because I might have overlooked this a little bit. So what I really like about showing FBA fees is the fact that they're going up. And so if we're tracking this, and it looks like the default set to 4 weeks here versus a different period. Let's hit the view this and see if we can break this down a little bit more. There's going to be some valuable data inside when we try and look around. So we got a little tutorial loading here on this particular page. I like it when the tools give you a little tutorial first time you load it, show you around. So the thing I was hoping to see, I am seeing it. So we can customize the date ranges. So we can look at today, we can look at yesterday, we can look at last 30 days or a custom range. So all of the things we saw on that dashboard, we can poke around and see how everything is going on. There's a warning alert. Okay, we got a little badge here. Let's check that out. Warning, last 7 days. So smart alerts. This is exactly what we were hoping to see is like, okay, so as a seller, you got so many things to focus on, so many things to check out and do. Where do I start? What am I supposed to do today? There's 100 things I could do. What should I do? So the thing about tools like Sellerise is you want something that will tell you exactly where to focus. So we're seeing this low stock alert come up, and that's going to be helpful. So if you're looking for a one-stop shop that just sets your tone for the day, sets your like, okay, you got an hour to work today and you're busy with all these things. Where's that extra hour you could spend logging in? I was able to catch a low stock alert. This came in at May 8th at 9 a.m. So that just happened this morning. And this is going to tell us what we need to do and whatnot. And then we can resolve the alert. We can collapse all. There's room for multiple errors, all that good stuff. So I'm going to hit resolve on it and see what that does and just kind of removes it. So in here, we've got all these different types of alerts. So we've got buy box. We've got hijackers showing up. So that's not good. Let's click on the live listing and see what's going on here. So that's not one of our active private label products. So I'm going to probably ignore some of that. Might be one of our retail arbitrage products. So we got some hijacker alerts. Shows us the seller names that are showing up. So this is kind of interesting to see. You get the direct link to the seller. So let's click on that. We can go over and look, oh, Ultima Beauty, they're on this listing. It's probably not a big deal since that's not a private label product. But here's one, brand changed. So this is a bad situation when you see that, right? So we got a hijacker taking our product. So this is absolutely my Age of Sage product here. And they've hijacked the brand. Now, we're currently not stocking it anymore. So we're probably going to let this one go. But that's not a good thing, right? So if somebody is hijacking your brand name, very frequently happens when you go out of stock. Like that's the number one time you got to look for this. So the tool caught that. We can see it right here, gives us a link to the listing and all of that good stuff. So then I could shoot this over to my team and say, hey, take care of it, work on it, etc. The other nice thing I like about this alert dashboard is it's breaking out the alerts by type. It's very intuitive. Buy box versus hijacker versus stranded versus suppression. So I'm going to click on each of these and just kind of check it out. So here's the hijacker ones. You can resolve them there. Stranded inventory. So we've got one stranded inventory right there. I'll take a look at that, send it to my team. Next, we have a suppression. And this is on a parent SKU. So that's a little bizarre. Your listing has been suppressed, can no longer be found on Amazon. So if I wanted to check that out, I'd click on the ASIN and take a look at it. We're getting a lost dogs page on this one. So what I can do is I can go over to Seller Central and take a peek at this one. I don't know what product we're about to see here. It's not even in the seller account. Parent SKU, I would have to go to the team and ask them, why that's showing up. But I like the fact that we're seeing that it can catch suppressions. and strand inventory, hijackers, buy box, and it breaks it all out. So that's really nice. Low stock. So if you're trying to figure out what do I need to ship in, here it shows us like here's the low stock. They're putting a number next to it, and I'm not 100% sure if that's like 3 alerts. Let's see. So I'm seeing 3 alerts. I think that's what it's counting as the 3 number. So check it. So it's coming up multiple times. So that's helpful to know. Like, oh my gosh, I've ignored that for a week, and I'm still getting the alert. It's probably something I really got to do. Stop procrastinating the day of my repentance and go in there and ship it. So that's helpful. Then we got out of stock. These are the ones that are physically out and to go look at. So these are ones that might have been out of stock for a while. Maybe we're waiting for a run, those kinds of things. All right, badge gained. Let's see what this is going to look like. So what does badge gained mean? So gain the new badge, popular brand pick, overall pick. So Amazon's changing Amazon's choice, and they're giving it different branding and different name logic. So let's take a look at this. So I clicked on the ASIN. Number 1, Amazon's choice on incense, which is great. 1,800 reviews, pretty solid product. It's done well for us historically. And I don't know how I would trigger the individual badges to show up unless I click the keyword. So probably one thing I would love to see here as a feature addition is the ability to click that link and land on the ASIN. It'd be kind of like a 2-step URL almost. And then I could see the badge show up live. So that's a pretty minor feature request, but it's definitely something I'd be interested in based on my first pass here. So I'm going to type it in manually. So we're typing in dry sage. We're going to try and find our product. So there's our ad showing up in slot 1. And does a badge show in search? I'm not seeing anything. Then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to try and find the manual one. So I'm actually not seeing my product show up on page 1 for the term. So it's possible you can get a badge and not be on page 1 in theory. But I sometimes will see the badge show up with PPC. We're not triggering it here. No big deal. But so that would be helpful when I want to try and like see it show up for that. Pretty minor though, not a big deal. Badges lost or inactive offer. Let's take a look at this. So these ones have become inactive. Check your offer, verify if this should happen. Premium support, resolve. Okay, request support from Sellerise, dedicated manager. Interesting. So I can ask for help potentially. Let's see what that looks like. Premium support. Terms of service to get premium support. You got to grant our team access, necessary permissions, and then pay for an invoice. So it looks like they're having some extra like ticketing support. So if you want a tool that also has, just a little bit of extra support here and there, it looks like they offer that. So you can get help with hijackers, suppressed listings, inactive offers, strand inventory, product category, product dimensions, and other issues with low inventory or issues like that. So that's cool. Proactive, so you can pay for proactive or existing, and then you send a request. Looks like they'll probably give you a quote, so that's cool. You can also email seller service at Celarise. So that might be helpful to somebody that's not like ready for a full-on agency, but they want some support. So that might be a good entry level. All right, so we looked at badges. We looked at badges lost, brand changed. So that is like, that's like the worst thing you can see, right? So let's take a look at this. Before G10, after Age of Sage. So that's good. That's actually what it's supposed to be. Now, so you can see all these Chinese guys hijacking listings. You never want to see this as a brand. So this is like paying, like the tool would pay for itself just on brand name change alerts. So that's a big win. So let's take a look at the live listing. Let's see what the actual is right now. Is it in good shape or not? So it looks like Age of Sage is showing up, so that's good. Let's look at the dates on this. So this one was the after, so it switched, and we looked at it there. So it looks like at 4 a.m. it switched, and then at 7 a.m. it switched again. So it's just like all kinds of messy in there right now. Interesting. All right, so those are all good, resolvable. Buy box gained. Let's take a look at this one. So you never want to see a hijacker show up and sell your product. It's like the worst thing that could happen. I'm not seeing any additional offers, so that's good. We'll close out of that. Images. All right, so before and after on images. So I think this is being triggered by potentially like inactivity, and so you can see a different image stack showing up with different products. So probably no action here. But what's nice about an image alert is if like sometimes a hijacker will cause an issue. Sometimes it will be Amazon's catalog, just like switching out an image, or an old image will show up, or like Canada will override the United States. So super helpful. So I really like that. So actionable data, that's good. Bullets, if bullet points change. So let's look at the Mama Shark one here. So it was empty before, and then now they show up. Okay, that's always helpful. And then we got buy box hijacker removed. Okay, so hijackers are getting taken off. That's always good. So you see where those go down. Images, so you can see all the image changes. So baby shark, let's check you out. So baby. So it looks like product inactivity is triggering that. That's actually pretty normal. So if they're two child ASINs are parented together, when you go to the one child, it will load the other. So that's a normal alert to see. Inactive offer, that one's going to be straightforward. So usually out of stock's the ones that cause that. So, but you'll notice the out of stock at 9 and the inactive offer at 167 are different. So there's more than one thing that can cause inactive offer, like a stranded listing, or an ASIN yank can also cause some of those issues as well. So we can see some of my tumblers were taken down, probably, and they're probably just like straight up yanked. Listing price. Okay, so let's check this one out. So listing price change. So it can even show you when a listing price changed. That's nice. I like that. And then title, when a title changes. So let's click into this. So that's a pretty minor. We probably did that one, but the other one was scary looking. Let's click on the other one. So the long day. So somebody hijacked my ASIN title straight up. So look at that. So they changed the ASIN and the title there. So we'll get them reported. Oh, and I really like this configuration section. So you can set a configuration for what you want to see and what you don't want to see. So if we click on this, do I want to see when new reimbursement units show up? Do I want to disable this for new products? Probably wouldn't want to. Storage fees for inactive products. That would be very important. You don't want to pay for things sitting around doing nothing. You can label things, whether it's critical, a log, or a warning. So you can switch buy box, hijack, or listing suppression, dimension change. These are actually pretty standard labeling, I would say. Marked as adult, that can be a problem sometimes if you don't have, you're selling a children's item, it gets marked as adult, PPC goes offline. I've seen it, happens. Ratings drop, that's a good one. I like that too. All right, so a lot of alerts here. Just, oh wow, scroll down, you can see a ton of these. Just ton of alerts. All right, so this is probably, in my opinion, the most configurable and most alerts I've seen in any tool before. So smart alerts, definitely going to give that a big thumbs up. All right, so we spent a lot of time on that, but I think it was merited, especially since it was showing up on the dashboard. So in the dashboard, is there anything we missed? Let's take a peek just to make sure we didn't miss anything. I think we covered pretty good ground, though. Oh, here's one more chart. Check this out, stock shortages. So I'll move my video for this one. Oops. All right, let's try and click on the right thing to move my video. There we go. And in here, you can see like which parts of the country your stock is not existing in. So I'm in Georgia. My warehouse is over in North Carolina. My partner owns the brand. I actually sold it to him just to set the record there, so I could focus on the agency. But I still have access to poke around and use it. So it looks like in the Midwest area, we have some shortages and then some other random countries across. So that's kind of interesting. So I'm going to click on this. Let's see. So 0 orders in 26 days or 20, hold on. Stock 0, orders in 28 days, 6. So Amazon will self-correct this. I don't know if this is actionable, but it's definitely curious. So that's interesting to see. So Hawaii, wow, 9 orders in Hawaii, 5 orders in Alaska. So fun to see that. You can always see where you need to like maybe try and go into retail stores where you see your geolocation show up. All right, so next I'm going back to the menu here and I'm going to click on finances. So we're going to go sales and profit. And this looks like basically what the dashboard landed us on. And then these drop downs showing us by product and all those filters. So it looks like the dashboard is very financially focused. And then if you want to go into like the sales and profit and loss, I wonder what the ABC analysis is going to stand for. Oh, profit and loss. Nice. This is a recreation of the profit and loss report directly inside of Amazon, which is often very confusing. So if we look at this per month, we're looking at December to May. So we got like 5 or 6 months in there. So we can see it by month. So sales, here's December. So we did 147,000 in December, 65,000 in January. It starts to shrink from there, and we can see it kind of taper off. Cost of goods haven't been entered, but you can see taxes, FBA fees, always spike in Q4. So I really like this because you can see your profit and loss in real time. Then you can break this down and click into it. Referral fees, commission, chargeback, gift wrap charge, shipping, HB, whatever that means. I don't actually know. Advertising expenses. So there may be some advertising. So backlog. I think Amazon keeps 6 months of data in the campaign. So that's why we might be seeing December be blank. So one challenge of trying to go backwards in time, you got to have the tool active for a while. Additional expenses, inbound transportation. That makes sense. Retro charge, no idea what that is. Liquidations, compensated, is that clawback? Interesting. Disposal, fee replacement. Wow, there's so many fees, like 28 fees, like listed right there. Micro deposit, whatever that means. Net profit. Then you can see the net profit at the bottom there. All right, so that's cool. ABC analysis. No idea what the ABC is going to stand for. So we got a little Adam Heist video here to walk us through it if we need. And then in here, what does it stand for? I'm looking around trying to know what ABC stands for. All right, so what I'm going to do, since I don't see a tooltip here, I'm just going to Google it. ABC analysis, inventory management technique that determines the value of inventory based on their importance to the business. Okay. All right. So profit, margin, ROI. All right. So one thing you're definitely going to want to do is put the COGS into this to calculate this. So we're getting some groupings here. So these are the best products in the A. Here's the next products in B. All right. So now I'm getting a rhythm here. So not very many products ranked A according to Sellerise here, and then a lot of C's. C1, C2. I'm even getting degraded down the list we go. All right, so if you're a seller with a big catalog and you want to see your ABC report, this will tell you literally where to focus. So here's our A grade, which products to focus on. And this is in line with what I would have expected. So it's enlightening to see a tool back that up. I've never seen an ABC report in a tool before. So this is nice. I like it. So remember the kind of the theme of the video so far is like you want a tool to tell you where to focus. Here you go. Ranked and sorted, focus on the A's. So I like that. All right. Manual adjustments. Is this going to be like the reimbursement tool section? Add adjustment. All right, let's click into this. So say goodbye to missing expenses. Okay, add new adjustment. What does this look like? One time. All right, product, category. All right, so I'm not sure when I would use this. Maybe there's like, so you put your regular COGS in, then there's like an event or something. You want to like annotate it. So having a tool that allows you to annotate and add in adjustments, you could even, I noticed there you could do this on a reoccurring basis too. So I can't think of a use case off the top of my head. But I've also never seen a tool do this before. So sometimes when you see a tool, like you have to think about it and like, when would I use this? So that's interesting. All right. So we got payouts. Let's go to that next. This is in beta. So what does this do? So this is going to show us our sales, all of our typical dashboard stuff, and then product payout. So there's a nice tooltip. So let's click into that. Payments from Amazon for the selected settlement period related to any of the products. Okay, makes sense. Unallocated payout. So it's like the holdback and the total payout for the selected period. All right, so if you're wondering how much you're going to get paid, when you're going to get paid, that's what this is going to help to do. And then you get another layer of the P&L view and a charts view. Let's take a look at this. So what does this do? Sales on a specific date. $86,000 on December 21st in 2023. Okay. Advertising, payout. All right, let's change the date range. Let's choose this last one. All right, let's click at this. All right, so that's probably not going to make sense. Let's click one more in. Okay, so you can click the old date and the new date, and then you can compare. All right, so sales on April 24th and sales on May 8th. So that's roughly a 2-week span. That makes sense. So you can compare the 2-week span before and after, how much you spent, what your sales, and then you know, typically when you see like intersections, those are the dates you want to pay attention to. So that makes sense. All right, so let's click in. Let's do. I don't want to go back too far. I want to go. How about like February? Let's click into that. All right, click one time and click a second time. Okay, cool. So an intersection right there on March 27th, I'm definitely going to pay attention to that. Like, why is there an intersection there? So we had a payout that went up. Am I reading this right? All right, so the two colors both being purple is throwing me off. Sales versus payout. Hard to tell which is which. And then advertising down there at $2,000. Okay, so advertising spend went up, sales went up, makes sense. All right, cool. So anytime you see an intersection in a chart, always put your eyeball on it, check it out. All right, so we've just finished the financial section, 26 minutes into this video, and we haven't even got to PPC yet. Wow, there's a lot in this tool, a lot going on. All right, so last 30 days, we got $6,100 in spend. We'll go back to the dashboard, I clicked on something there. And so you can set the custom range. You can see all that stuff. That's good. You can break it out by brand, display, video, and television. So these television, the new PPC. So if you're trying to break out all of your ad spend by type, they've got reports for all of that. That's great. You can see our CTR, all the basic advertising metrics you'd want to see. You can export all the data into a spreadsheet, and then you can break it out by ASIN. So we've always had trouble with Amazon giving us SKU level data. So you need a tool typically to analyze SKU level data, ASIN level data. So this is very helpful to be able to do that. Export it to an Excel sheet, know like where we need to focus. So in terms of advertising, you can clearly see 200,000 impressions on these top 2 products, and then it drops down very fast. So we might be under indexing on a couple of our soaps and over indexing on that damsel right there. It also could be that we just have a lot of product for that right now. It's also possible. One feature I'd love to see here is, can I copy that? All right, let's look at that. Yeah, okay, you can copy. That's cool. All right, so let's go back over to our inventory here and see, like, you know, why is that? So we got a red alert in here too, 100 available. So that might be something to pay attention to. So like, why would I be overspending? So if you're wondering, like, am I underspending or overspending on select areas, this is a great tool to break that out and see what's going on. Moving my camera so you can see some of these other columns here. So you get the CTR. You also get the average cost per click. That is super valuable. So I'm going to see if I can scroll in. So the average cost per click, looking at 95 cents on the top one there, $1.23 on that soap. So if you're wondering, like, hey, I've got more impressions on this soap, but my average cost per click is 80 cents there. Should I allocate more funds over to this soap versus this one because the cost might be less? Now, the counter to that would be, well, the CTR is higher on this one, so interesting to see that. So this would be a merited inquiry, is to figure out, like, why certain soaps get a higher click-through rate or a lower cost, and, you know, maybe there's a discrepancy worth looking into. Without a tool, I would have no idea that I would need to pay attention to this. All right, we're next going over to the review dashboard in here. View crew shoot, review stats, review conversion rates, analyze your reviews by common phrases, review gains, calculate your ratings goal, and many other things. Let's hit the next button. So to start using the review dashboard, you need to add products. So let's add a product. Cool. And as soon as you add more products, all the data is loaded. You will also be able to see more important stats of the reviews of each product added. Okay. Depending on your subscription plan, there might be a limit on how many products you can add. Add more product slots so you can upgrade. All right, cool. So we got one product added in here, and we've got 7 reviews in the last 30 days and up 40%. All right, so there's 828 reviews. Let's view the details, see what this looks like. So you can see the breakout by the star rating. So you can see 68% give it a 5-star, 14% give it 4-star, and so forth. And you can see the trend line. So if you're ever wondering, like, is your product reviews star rating going up, going down, this is going to show you. This is another example of a tool I have not seen before. This is unique, at least something I haven't seen before. So Sellerise has got a review dashboard, very in depth. You can also request reviews, it looks like. So we'll click on that next. Common phrases, interesting. Okay, so if you're looking at like what words you might want to put into some of your marketing copy, I always love using what consumers are saying. Clearly, some Spanish speakers on this particular ASIN right here using this product. Most common, K and say and N and por and S. Right? So these are all Spanish words showing up. And you'll also notice almost all of the Spanish speakers are giving higher reviews, right? So if you're wondering, like how would you figure this stuff out if you didn't have a tool to show you, right? Like this is super interesting stuff. So that's the 1 word, 2 word, 3 word, 4 word. All right, so no 3 or 4 word commonality. But that's really interesting. So now we know Spanish people like this product more than non-Spanish speakers. All right, goal calculator. So here's the rating amount, current rating, goal rating, 4.5. Ways to achieve the goal. 1,400 5-star reviews to up that a 0.1 click. Wow, that's a lot. So now, okay, so I can see the use case for this immediately. Like if you're arguing with your team, if it's worth trying to game reviews or try and increase the reviews by normal means, you could use a tool like this to figure out whether it would be worth the investment or how much you would have to invest, right? So isn't that interesting? You'd have to acquire 1,400 reviews to up it a 0.1 click. Oh man, who's going to invest in that? That's a lot. Very interesting. All right, so that's really cool. Here you can see the review gains, number of orders, number of reviews, average reviews. So out of 200 reviews, does that mean only 1.3 people will leave a review? Is that how that works? So 3 reviews, 5 reviews, 7 reviews. Not sure I'm reading that right. Total reviews, 1,700. Average reviews, so what is that? I'm not sure what the average reviews 1.3 is calculating. So 17 divided by 200. So we're looking at like roughly 17 divided by 2, so 8. All right, it's late. I'm doing the download here. So that is going to be 0.08. So 8.5% of people will leave a review on this listing. So if you're wondering what your review percentage is, this tool will tell you that. I've never known my own review percentages. So if we're going to add more products, that'd be really cool to find out. Right, so let's see how we add one in here. So if we go back to the other products, all right, so let's go, the items that were of the most importance were on this dashboard. So if we add this product, let's see what that looks like. And it's going to take some time to load the data probably, no big deal. We'll add this one in so we can track and see how reviews do over time. And I don't know if it'll let me add more than one at a time, does it? I'm not clear on that. We'll just try one at a time just in case. All right, so we'll let that load, see how long that takes to populate. But that's pretty cool. Some of the things, I've never seen anything like that. All right, review downloader. So I used to use a free tool to do this, and then that tool went away. So to use this, you got to install the Chrome extension. So we'll do that real quick. So it looks like 10,000 people have already installed the Sellerise Chrome extension. So we'll add that to Chrome and add extension. Okay, so I installed the Chrome extension, went in here and clicked it. You have to put your email address in to log it to the account. So I did that. There's no further button here. So I'm not immediately clear on how I like calculate seeing the reviews. But over in the dashboard, I suspect it might load later. Here it says it loads the most 100 reviews of an ASIN. All right, so that's pretty cool. All right, so the next thing is the review puncher. And so you'll connect Seller Central. And it looks like Adam Heiss has also done a video tutorial on this, kind of breaking out like how to set this up. And you can check that out as well once you log in. All right, next we're getting into the keyword section, right? So just a lot of depth to this tool, a lot of stuff going on. So keyword tracker, this is going to be a fundamental tool if you want to know how you're doing over time and see like keywords going up and down. So in here, let's click into our soap product for Age of Sage. And so here are keywords we're physically tracking. All right, so this little walkthrough from Jane at Sellerise. So it's going to show us constantly improving our algorithms because of that. You won't see the search volume metric anymore in their keyword tools. Interesting. We use and rely on the keyword search rank now. See column 4. So search ranks right here, okay? And it's similar to BSR, bestseller rank, but for keywords. The lower it is, the better. Okay. Interesting take on how to do volume. Also, you can add up to 3 competitors to track for each of the ASINs and hit edit access on the tool on manage competitors. And then in here, you'll be able to see how these competitors rank by keyword. You track inside the 7-day trend. Okay. And you can see their position compared to yours. All right. So plus cold, plus press, plus soap, which is kind of like a broad match modifier connection. So I'm not clear how a tool would do that based on plus signs. But if we scroll to the right here, we don't see a search rank established. So I'm kind of curious how that works. Let's go over to Amazon directly and type that in. Plus cold, plus press, plus soap. So my product shows up. Nice. PVC number 1. And then organically, we're in slot like 2. So that's good. Okay. And we got multiple products showing up. So that one's in slot 5 or 6. So that's beneficial. Okay. So let's go back over to the keyword tool. Where were we? All right. Hold on. All right. So other keywords that have been selected, bar soap on page 4. All right. So it's going to tell us which page we're on. So top of page 4, page 2, top page. Cool. All right. That's actually helpful. I don't think I've seen a page tracker before. You can pull things back and forth. That's always a nice utility UI feature. How many ad page, what ad position we're in. So we're in ad position 1. We triggered that. And they tell us the date they last crawled it. So it looks like they're probably going to check that at least once a day. Let's look at the statistics, see what that looks like. No data on stats. Pin, so you can select which ones. All right, so let's add some more keywords in here and manage competitors. So let's see what this looks like. So we're going to want to do probably Dr. Squash. So let's take an ASIN right there and add that into our competitor. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so you can add 3 competitors per ASIN and then see how they're doing against yours over time. So I really like that concept to be able to track over time because what you're doing today may not be what you're doing tomorrow. Case in point, you can see the 7-day trend. Some of these are flat. Other ones, they go up or down. So we're in position 86, all the way down to position 152, all the way back up to position 90 over a stretch of time period. So that's going to be very helpful. And then you can see your competitor and how they're doing on that keyword over time. And then you can chart it out. So the one downside to keyword trackers is you have to set it up and then come back and look at results over time. So the key here is when you first onboard with a tool such as Sellerise, start tracking keywords by day 1. And then you'll be able to see how things are going over time because they can't backtrack it, unfortunately. All right, so other keywords. So if we want to import keywords, you can download an import template and fill it out that way. So if you're migrating from another keyword tool, you can do it that way. Another one, you can just manually dump these in as well. So if I wanted to do, how am I doing on the keyword Dr. Squatch, because that's a competitor term, do I rank for their term? And then it will pull the data probably by tomorrow. All right, so that's going to crawl once a day. That's our keyword tracker. So that's a very helpful tool. Let's go next to keyword processor and see what this one's about. So quick tour. Perfectly clean keyword lists for your ad campaigns and SEO optimizations in a few clicks. So say goodbye to manual filtering, splitting text to columns, removing duplicates, irrelevant keywords in Excel for long hours. All right, so we got 13 steps here. That is a lot of information to process. Let's go through it. Step 1, start by adding a raw list of your keywords manually here. All right, so I've copy and pasted a large input of all of these keywords. We're going to hit process in a second, but before I do that, you can separate it out one per line. That's the most common. So if you want to import this from various locations, or maybe you're coming from a different tool and trying to port things over, here's the settings. So you can remove duplicates, remove single words, remove single letters, numbers, ASINs, remove special characters. So this is very similar for those that are familiar with like Helium 10's Frankenstein. This is a one-to-one lookalike tool called the keyword processor. Very much has everything I would look for. Let's hit process and see what comes out. All right, so the processed it all out. So how does the input compare to the output? One thing I would like to see is a character count comparing the two, so I can see like what changed. So that's not immediately apparent. So that's one thing I would love for them to develop. What is the difference between these two lists? I'm not immediately sure. So if we look at this, what did they process in this? All right, so let's go back to the settings, see if we missed something. So duplicates, single words, common words, remove asins, convert to lowercase, word frequency. Let's click that button. Let's see what that does. And then process. So word frequency, popular. Oh, that's cool. So in here, I can see how often something shows up, and Dr. Squatch shows up everywhere. All right, that's good to know. Replace. So you can add and replace things, split into separate words, and remove phrases containing. So there's a lot of modification you can do. Sort by default, ABC. So what does ABC do? Okay, so it's going to sort it literally by alphabetical length. So if you want your largest keywords up at the top here, so you want to get an exact match to O Naturals Peace Moisturizing Body Wash Soap Bar Collection. All right, cool. And then frequency, what shows up the most frequent. So Dr. Squatch is dominating my keyword rankings. That's interesting. So what's cool about this is you can flip between all these different views very quickly, get a different sense of it. No history found, okay. And then you can save the template, you can copy the keywords and do things with them. All right, so I'm going to try another option here, split into separate words and hit process. And then I don't like the one per line, so I'm going to do add spaces. Okay, now this is what I'm used to seeing in my previous tool. So cold pressed soap, smell good, fall bar, Dr. Squatch for women age, of sage, jukebox, women, men's. Okay, now the one thing no tool on the market does is remove all trademark terms. Like that would be really cool as a feature upgrade if they ever add that. I don't know how you would do that, to be honest, but it's just something I wish I didn't have to go through this and be like, oh, okay, is that a trademark term? I don't know. I know that one is. So I wouldn't want to remove all the trademark terms. But this makes it really easy to go do your keyword research. So, for example, let's say, and I don't see a character count here. I really wish they had that. That's definitely a cool feature they could add. But what I want to be able to do is, let's say I'm setting all the alt text of A+ content. So if we go to one of my listings right now, you can see all the alt text for each photo, right? And there's 100 characters of alt text per photo. So you want to go in there and set these. And one of my favorite ways to do that is to use a keyword processing tool like the one here in Sellerise. And you could just copy these 100 characters at a time. So if I was going to develop a keyword processing tool myself, what I would build next is a button that separates it out into 100 character chunks. Then I could just literally export that over to my SEO team or designer team and tell them, do a quick review, but by and large, just go dump 100 characters in this photo, go dump 100 characters in that photo, 100 characters in that photo. And if you do that, you've done 80% of the work, right? Now, you could go through this and rank the keywords and take some extra steps, but for alt text, it really isn't that important. Now, if we were looking at this for a title, very different game, obviously. The search terms you want to be a little bit more cognizant of, but for alt text, 100 character text, 100 character text, go next, 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 and just make it fast. And then that way you can do this uniquely on 30 photos in your A+ content. You can also do this in your brand story photos. So a lot of people don't realize you can load all this alt text into the photo itself, and that can be very valuable to get those additional keyword entries. So really cool stuff there. All right, let's close some of these tabs down. All right, so I do like the keyword processor. It took me a second to pick up on a couple of the things I'm accustomed to, like the add spaces thing and how we process like the settings. So remove all the numbers, special characters, word frequency, split into separate words, all that stuff. Once we got a hang of it, though, this is pretty cool and very much the sort of thing I would look for in a keyword processing tool. All right, next we're going to the keyword hunter. Start by typing in any keyword. So we'll type in men's soap or something like that and see what happens. Men's soap. Okay, And it does a little autocompletes too. Okay, so let's hit this. All right, semantic core. That was fast. Now let's explore the basics. This is the number of best performing keywords related to the ones you entered in the search bar. Cool. And there's also 16 steps here. So they're going to walk you through piece by piece. The more steps you see on a tool walking you through, that's the more powerful it is. That means pay attention to the tool, in my opinion. All right, so they're walking us through each of these tabs, telling us what it does, the related products, pretty self-explanatory, top related products, average market availability. This one shows the sales this keyword could generate outside of the top 3. So 70% of the sales come outside of the top 3. Is that what it's saying? That's interesting to think about. So that means top 3 are only getting 30%? I would have thought that was higher. Historical data, 3 years. You can see how long Sellerise has been collecting data about this particular keyword. There might be new keywords that don't have a lot of data. There might be other keywords that have 3 years of data. Okay. Performance chart illustrates the dynamics of search rank, clicks, and sales of the keyword over time. So the performance, it's at an all-time high is what I'm reading here. So you can see 3 years of data on how it's done. So do we get a breakout of each of those? Not quite. Okay. To the place where the main part of the keyword research lies, semantic core table. It always shows data over the last 30 days since it's most relevant to making data-driven decisions. Okay. So there's the search rank, the number of clicks, number of sales, and you want to obviously focus on the highest sales typically, and then the conversion. Okay. All right. Gathered only metrics that are crucial for building a highly converting semantic core. Makes sense. In the sales column, you'll see average daily sales to get position 1, 2, and 3. All right. I'm very accustomed to seeing tools that do that. Special attentions to search rank and filter settings. Coolest feature of Keyword Hunter Pro is that you can adjust your keyword list right inside the tool. All right. So now that we've gone through that tutorial, what does all of this say? So that's the average search rank. It's kind of hard to see the other colors, total clicks in, and all of that. All right, so I wonder how I would want to filter this. All right, so let's get rid of search rank. All right, so that's cool. So you can filter in and out different things to see, like, maybe I just want to look at clicks, and that's all I want to look at. Maybe I want to see sales. That's all I want to look at. Feature requests, definitely I want to uncheck everything. I want an uncheck all button. That would be nice because there's a lot of buttons to click. All right, so total clicks. Let's go with total sales. All right, so April, 1,700. March, 2,500. February, 2,400. Cool. So if you're wondering, is this a seasonal item? Here's how seasonal it is. Q4 gets a big boost. Very obvious. All right, top brands. So if you want to know who are the top brands for a particular keyword, you can see that right here. And if you're trying to do keyword research, you could start with a top level keyword like men's soap, come in here and be like, oh, I want to compare all my products against those 3 brands. Very obvious, right? Maybe you want to go deeper. All right, so can you click on a particular active top during the past 30 days that's been among the top 3 positions? And you can see like the rotation there. So I probably wouldn't track Dove, but I would track Duke Cannon. In my particular instance. Top related products, let's see what that looks like. So I'm guessing they're probably pulling the actual search results to get that, not sure. And then average market availability. Percentage shows how much sales were generated by the top 3 positions. All right, 3 years of data, top categories. All right, so it's showing up in outdoors. That's really weird. Does it show me which ones show up in outdoors? No. Okay. Beauty is where I would have expected it. Health and personal care, that makes sense. Luxury, sure. Toys, I don't know about that. Grocery, what the heck? Guild? What is guild? Weird. Okay, semantic core. Let's go down here. So this is going to be where the bulk of the work gets done. Filter settings, let's check that first. Ooh, yes. All right, so if for those of you that are familiar with my SEO Phase 3, here's how I would use this tool. This is going to be a core tool that you will use every single day. Super excited to see I can sort this by search rank, apply the filters. This is exactly every filter I would ever want to see. I may have something up here. All right, so let's think about this. Keywords in rank 20 through 50. All right, let's get rid of the filters here. Semantic core, so keyword. This is going to show all the iterations of the keyword men's soap. So what I'm probably not configuring here is maybe there's another tool part I haven't got to yet where I can see the product rank of all the keywords. That's what I need to get to next. Okay, so I was jumping the gun. I got really excited when I saw that filter. So the keyword Hunter Pro allows us to see like all of the data for the iterations of the root phrase. It's not ASIN specific. So to get to the ASIN specific one, we're going to go over to Semantic Core's next keyword tool in the re-ranker section. So in here, you can put in an ASIN, which I've done. And in here, it's going to show us all the organic clicks, all the organic sales. So this product was doing a lot better in Q4. You can see that for sure. And then in here, you can sort or filter this by keyword rank. So you can type in rank 20 to rank 50. You can take all the brands, how many brands are showing up, et cetera, and all that good stuff. And then down here is the keywords that it ranks for. Now, one thing that I'm uncertain about is it's not showing a lot of data. I would have expected to show a lot more keywords than just 17. So I don't know if that's a data population constraints or something along those lines. But to be able to run SEO phase 3 that we do at My Amazon Guy, we're going to need to see all the keywords that one product ranks for. Then we're going to filter it by rank 20 through 50 to do our strike zone. These are keywords that are like ready to be struck, that are not quite at the top of page 1, but they're close. Then you run all of our optimization on the actual detail page, putting those keywords into the alt text, the description, the bullet points, the title, and all of that good stuff. And then you're off to the races. So that's what we're going to be looking for. All right, so the next section we're going to be looking at is reimbursements. And I'm going to click a play video of their help file because it was able to show this a little bit better than I can demonstrate. So it's in the reimbursement sections here. Here you can see what is reimbursable with the tool. So it's going to give you a breakdown of like, okay, cool. I think there are $14,000 that have been reimbursed with Sellerise versus reimbursable value of $4,400. And then what we've collected over each time period. So this is very similar to a lot of other reimbursement tools. I even have one myself. And the nice thing about this is it's going to be a push button collectible ticketing system, essentially. So what it's going to do is it's going to download reports out of your portal. You can then run it to say, hey, show me all the destroyed inventory, show me all the damaged inventory, the misplaced and lost inventory. It's going to give a dollar value for this. And then you're going to be able to process the tickets by copying and pasting the data that they're going to provide you and then put it into Seller Central. So you will have to do this and some manual grunt work, give it to your VA or whatnot. And then you can select the products and how you're going to file the reimbursements and create by Sellerise, create manually. So the challenge is if you create it by Sellerise, sometimes they get a little finicky about tools that use automation. So just be careful that you don't create too many cases using Sellerise's tool here. They sometimes will get mad at you, seller support, if you do too many. I don't know what the magic number is of too many is, but I would say I would make the case the exact same way that they're writing it. So there's no difference between manual and using the tool. So I would say proceed with caution, but also you can probably file about 50 of these and probably be safe. It's kind of a guesstimate on my part. So I do like the fact that inside of the tool, I could just click a button, it'll file a case. That's pretty sweet, I gotta admit. It makes it really easy. And then you can see like status of reimbursed, what's pending. You got the case log and all the tracking in there. So that's going to be super valuable data to see. So it's always nice to have a reimbursement tool as part of your arsenal. And it does take a little getting used to. You don't have to click a lot of buttons. You got to click the shipments. And it's a lot of grunt work to go through and do all of this. But the money adds up. So in the demo that you saw here, they've clawed back $14,000. Which, by the way, would more than pay for the tool and then some for several years. So you have to have a reimbursement tool on staff when you're doing this. All right. So I thought the dashboard on this was pretty good. I like the breakouts. I like the automation ticketing that they have to offer. All right. So this next section is going to be the inventory section right there. And this is going to show us what our storage fees are going to look like. So if you're wondering like, oh man, all these fees are adding up, I don't know what to expect. This is going to show you exactly what you can estimate. So got an estimated storage fee of $367, which is on the low side, which is good. It's going to show you by SKU what to expect, all the inventory stock, the available, the total stock, all the inventory all together with all the detailed, and then the daily average units sold over the last 30 days. So you can see all that data right here, figure out where your storage fee is coming from. You can take into account COGS, estimated sales, profit. So if we just want down just the storage fees and really want to focus in on that, you can see that right there. They have low inventory fees. Let's check that. So do we have any low inventory fees coming? It's populating 0 at the moment, but isn't it nice that they've already built that in? Like low inventory fee, like announcements are just like a couple months old and they've already built that into the tool. That's a really good sign that we're going to see additional dev work. A lot of the more legacy tools that they're competitors with aren't going to build this stuff nearly as fast. So that's one of the benefits of using kind of a non-legacy tool, if you will, a newer tool, is they're going to be building things in real time. So there's going to be things faster in a portal, just like that, low inventory fee calculations. All right, next we're going to be looking at shipping documents. I'll be honest, I have no idea what to expect from this. So their tutorial talks about having all of your shipping documents in one place, your BOL, that's the bill of lading, package pallet labels, manually upload additional documents, get notified by new shipment documents by email. All right, so we'll X out of the tutorial here. So here's the dashboard. Here's the channels. I don't know what a channel is. Not sure what to expect from that. And then in the dashboard, you can see all of the shipments. So we've got 65 shipments with our Sage stick. So let's click into that, see what that looks like. So it's going to show us the actual shipment IDs, how much we've shipped, what's received. So it's been delivered, it's in transit. It's going to show us all of the statuses of everything. So here is one document. It's going to show us our shipping label. So if you wanted to make, I'm wondering if this will let you make shipments directly from the portal here. You can add documents. So if you're trying to load everything. So I think the nice thing about this, if you're trying to figure out like which shipments you need reimbursements for, you can add the document here and then you can go to the other place and file the ticket for loss and damages. Makes it easy to track everything down. So if you have your logistics person simply like take proof of every shipment that goes out the door, they take a picture, they have all of the data, whatever it might be, you can load it all into one location. And then if ever something comes up, boom, you've got it all in one place. So I do like the idea of shipment documents. Use case came to me pretty fast on that. So that's pretty cool. Adult checker. So this is going to see if like my ASIN is showing up in the adult section. We also saw this in the alert section. So if you're worried that like, so I have a product I help sell. It's rope. Somebody wrote a review of how they use that rope. I won't tell you how they use the rope, but you could use your imagination. Some people like to use rope in an adult way. And so if I wanted to know if that was marked as adult, I could put my ASIN in right here and check it. So that's an interesting thing. I've never seen an adult checker tool before. So I think I've said that 4 or 5 times in this video. There are very unique things that are inside of this tool, including an adult checker. All right, so we've got through all of the tools. I think I was most impressed by the financial and reporting tools. It's very likely that they're ranking these tools by power. That's not a guarantee, by the way. But I get the sense that there was some more powerful tools at the top here. And so you may find yourself finding alignment to that concept. Very much, you see a lot of tutorials, a lot of explanations. So if you're ever worried about switching to a new tool, they've got you covered on that. And they even have a video tutorial section where they break all these tutorials out by section one after another down the list. So that's going to be helpful. They've got a settings section. They've got premium support, wide mode, privacy mode, all kinds of things. The guys that are making this are clearly developers. They figured all that good stuff out. You can add multiple accounts, right? So this one's got US, Canada, Mexico, and Brazil. That only counts as one account. You can add 5 accounts here and all that good stuff. So that's interesting. You can get collaborators. You can add sub-users and all that good stuff. So overall, very much an up-and-coming tool that's got some very unique things. And that is my actually it's cold. It's a cold review where I come in cold. I've never touched the tool before, and I review everything to see what's going through my mind. So you as the viewer can see like, oh, if I was going to open this tool, what would my experience be like? I just gave you the raw take. So tell me what you guys think in the comment section. Have you used Sellerise? Will you use it? Do you think this is going to take out some of the legacy tools? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy, and you can check out other content about SEO, keywords, and other tools like this in the next video.